Hello, crafty friends. Gloria Parra here for Hip Kit Club today. And today I will be working with the awesome new Color Me Happy kit. This is the July kit. I will be choosing 3 of my favorite products to create a wonderful layout with you today. So I have an unboxing of this kit on my YouTube channel. So if you wish to see all the papers and me going through every embellishment and little pack here, you can go there and watch it. I will give you a little glimpse into how awesome this kit is. This month you will get awesome papers. You will have lots of variety, mixed media, florals, lots of, I love this one, lots of animal print papers. We will get to those. You will also get party papers and embellishments. So tons of possibilities, friends, in this kit. You can document many memories and wonderful moments with your loved ones. So I really would love for you to watch the video where I go in detail. And for this kit and the embellishment kit this month, it is packed with things that I love, and it's gonna be hard to choose only 3. We get the ephemera pack with just awesome icons. You get party, you get artful, you get like party animals, so really fun. This is the vellum alphabet. These are the journaling tags. I like that they are great quality, friends, really thick. And look at these florals. Look at these florals, friends. They are awesome. These are chipboard pieces that I just have to show to you. So here I have the elements that I would love to incorporate on my layout. Here are more of the cardstock ephemeras. Look at these florals. They look like if they had been just watercolored and hand painted. Lovely florals. This month you get the beautiful tags to add your words, little like clipboard pieces, and these are so chunky, friends. I just adore them. Full of color, just an awesome kit. One of my favorites this year, so go check it out. And before doing our page today, I want just to show you how fun this month's stamps and dies are. So you get a confetti die. You can purchase the balloons that are super useful. You get the stamps. This is a beautiful postage die. So very useful. I love this envelope and journaling die here. So you get lots of possibilities. You can fill this one with some confetti and that will look really cute. And you get vellum shapes here with tons of florals and more elements. And here is the puffy shapes. So let's get started, friends, with this layout. So before starting our layout, I want to share some photos that I'm gonna be using for this project. And you know, there are few things that make me so happy than to have a collection that goes perfectly with my photos. So it seems like this collection was made for these photos. We recently were in Florida for some family vacations, and we found this awesome place called Color Me Mine, where you would go and choose your piece of ceramic, and then you would paint it and come back in a couple of days to pick it up. They had baked it, so you know, it was such an awesome experience. So my youngest one chose a little cat, and the oldest one like a little dinosaur, I believe. So here is my girl holding her cat and the little plate that she painted. We went for a second time with some of her besties that traveled with us as well. So just a beautiful moment and memory. So this collection will be the perfect one to document these memories. So let's start. Okay, friends, so I'm gonna use this second like base here, cutting mat, just so you can see the difference between my paper and the working space, okay? So the first product that I'm gonna choose today as one of my favorites is paper. Paper is always one of my favorite products whenever I'm working with hip kits. And this time I will let my photos help me choose the papers that I want to use, like the color scheme. So as you can see in these photos, we have that orange in my daughter's blouse, we have green on the apron, but we have a lot of blue going on the chairs, on my daughter's skirt. So the second color that I'm gonna bring in is this beautiful pattern here with that like periwinkle. And I know that there's no pink in my photos, not yet. I'm gonna bring it in the embellishments, but you know, this paper just takes me to that place. The tables ended up all painted up, the paper they put on top of the tables, and you know, there was paint strokes all around the place. So that's also another thing that you can consider whenever you're creating. If something reminds you, takes you to that place, to that moment, use it, friends, because that's part of the experience and of the creating. So I'm gonna use that as my base because I love it. And I'm gonna bring in this blue because as you can see, we have blue in the chairs, blue in the walls. And I love that like orange on my daughter's shirt. So I went searching and we have this like yellow orangey paper that looks like paint swirls all around. That's a nice one. But in the Cardstock Kit, we get this mango ice, and that's almost exactly as my daughter's shirt. So I really love that color here more than this yellow. But I'm gonna keep it close by if I need it. And just for some little details, we have this green paper that brings in the green in my daughter's shirt. And to tie everything together, black and white is always a must. So I'm gonna use this pattern paper, which has this beautiful circles on the back. So friends, that's why you need 2 packs of pattern paper whenever you're ordering your kits. Okay, so the idea here is to use this as my base and create a little like line here. I'm gonna have the one with the title, with the store's name in the middle, and I will create everything from there. All right, friends, I've gone ahead and cut my black lined pattern paper. I cut it to 10 1/4 by 4 3/4. I'm gonna have that placed like almost at the middle, but a tiny bit upward. And I'm gonna place my 3 3x4 photos on top of that strip, okay? And I will have some margins all around, and I like what that adds. If you want your photos to pop even more, you can go ahead and choose a pattern paper and just create a little frame. I was thinking of incorporating the green here, but let's work on our paper layers first. So I told you that I wanted to use the blue and the tangerine color here, like mango ice. So I'm gonna cut 2 pieces, okay? And I will create my layers. So let's move this a little and bring the trimmer so we can cut our layers. So from the tangerine color, we're gonna cut a 6 3/4 piece. It's always hard to see where the 3/4 land here. Okay, 6 3/4 by 7 1/2. That's gonna be our top layer. Then we're gonna bring in the blue one that's 5.5. So these are only measurements that I figured out depending on how much paper I want to be seen at the top and at the bottom. So just paper layers. If you have some pieces left of paper, if you have scraps, these is the perfect opportunity to use them. So I'm gonna have the top one here at the top, and I want some of that to be seen on the top and on the bottom. So that's a little wider. And this one, I just want to tuck under everything and just to create that little layer, okay? I have my pencil marks here that indicate where I want that strip, but I haven't adhered anything yet, so we can move things around. We can play with the design and see what we like. Now let's move on to my second favorite product, and for this month, it has to be these two dies here. We have the envelope and journaling metal die set. So I'm gonna cut that out from vellum. And this is the confetti heart and star die. So I think they're both super, super useful and fun. And that's what we're gonna do now. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in my die cutting machine, a piece of vellum, any vellum that you have in your stash. And we're gonna start cutting the envelope from the vellum just to have that transparency and to have the confetti pieces see-through. For the confetti, I'm gonna use the 6x8 papers from the Project Life kit. That's another favorite of mine. Okay, but let's count that as papers, okay? Because I need a third product for my layout. So this counts as paper. And you need this too, friends, because they're super, super useful for photo frames and for die cutting. So I'm gonna cut my confetti. As you can see, I already did a little cutting and I have them here, but I want a bunch of colors to fill in my envelope. Okay, friends, I had to bring in my bigger die cutting machine. So I brought the Big Shot because it's a very long die, the envelope one. Sorry for the noise. So yeah, I'm gonna use this bigger machine to cut my envelope and just show you how awesome this die is. And I am already imagining a ton of things that I can do with it. So it's those dies that you can put to use for many, many occasions. Valentine's is gonna come anytime, friends, so that's gonna be a great opportunity for some little love cards. So yeah, grab it while it's still in stock. And don't forget, you can always use my code Gloria for an extra 10% discount. So here's my little envelope. Look how pretty it looks. The flap closes. I just need to adhere it. But I think we will have it open with some confetti and my journaling coming out. The idea is there. We're gonna see if it works. Okay, and I'm gonna come back with those confetti pieces. Now that we've got our envelope cut and the little confetti pieces, let's put together this envelope. And I'm gonna use a double-sided tape to adhere the flaps. So it's very easy to put together. Now, this dies give you everything to know where you need to fold, where you need to adhere. So it's super, super easy. Okay. There we have it. We have the little pocket, see-through, and we could put in our confetti pieces, hearts and stars. Okay, so you can even put in some sequins if you want to bring in more of that shiny feel. So some of these papers have white on the back, so you're gonna get a mix of everything. Okay, I'm gonna have that there, and I'm gonna bring my layout in. So friends, we're gonna start like putting this layout together, and my idea before adhering is to create 2 big embellishment clusters, very artistic feeling on these both corners, and my title piece and journaling piece here. Okay, so to start, I love this little like painting. Can't remember the name, but I'm sure you know what that is. So in the like journaling pack, you get this beautiful circle shapes to put your journaling. I'm not gonna use them for my words, but I'm gonna use them to create some fun layers. So I'm gonna try to bring them down here and see what colors work best. So nothing is adhered, we're just creating those clusters, seeing what works. And maybe I can put this one here, the yellow one here. Since we have yellow there, I don't know if it's gonna work, but I want to bring this little bubble that says love this and have this cluster of circular elements. And I love what circle does when you're creating a page that has all this straight edges. It just softens those lines and it creates that more organic look. So we can bring in the florals. Look at these florals, friends. I am in love. They look like if, you know, I had just painted them. Very like free form and beautiful. So I'm gonna create, I like how that's looking, so I think I'm gonna leave it there. And up here, I'm gonna bring this amazing pieces. So we have this color wheel that brings all the color and this little like paint plate that we were actually using on the table. So, you know, this collection couldn't be perfect, couldn't be more perfect, friends. It's just awesome. So just try to look at what side works best of the color wheel. And let's tuck in the little color plate there, paint plate. So I'm sure it has a name, but of course I don't remember it. And another bubble just to repeat those elements and bring cohesion to our clusters. And you see that's looking great already. I love this let's get crazy. So I'm gonna add that one up here. It's like a little subtitle, you know, so maybe I will make it overlap my photos. I love when, you know, I bring things down and I make everything overlap a little because it creates that unity that I really like. So yeah, I'm liking how that's looking. I can bring in some flowers too. I think I had some, because I put things in a little tray, the things that I think could work whenever I'm choosing my embellishments. So I think we could bring in a couple florals to our piece, to our clusters. Let's see what could work. Maybe down here. I love that this brings color. And like I told you, it breaks a little those harsher lines. And up here we have tons of color going on, so maybe something, I don't know, what color are we missing? Maybe a little blue would work good. So let's try to look for a blue piece. This one that's smaller. And now we can move on to the title. And for my title, I will use the amazing vellum words here, letters, to create my word color. And I'm gonna do a subtitle down here that says Color Me Mine. Okay, the name of the fantastic place we were in. So these, as you can see, they're translucent, so you will get that transparency when you're adhering, and I wouldn't be able to add my foam adhesive that I love so much. So what I like doing here is just bringing a piece of cardstock and backing my letter with that, cutting it around. I have one done here, and I'm gonna do one with you so you can see, but it's really easy. I just use my double-sided adhesive, and I try to add the adhesive where I have some color. That way, you see, you won't be able to see almost nothing of that adhesive. So just adhere all your letters. Okay, put some adhesive and adhere it and cut it around. Now I have all my letters cut and backed with that white cardstock, and I love how that's looking down there. I was also thinking of bringing this little paint here, just on top of my easel. That's the word I think I was looking for. Another option, if you like, I just want to give you some options, are this super fun chipboard pieces that looks like the barcode that says this happened. So this could come just here. We have this one that says, let's make some new memories. Very fun as well. Brings lots of color, and it looks like a little canvas that has been painted and it's just sitting there. So whatever you like. I think I really like the paint brushes and the paints there. And I'm gonna pop that up, and then I'm gonna start adhering so we can finish this layout. But one more thing, my journaling will go in typed in this tag. I will add a little ribbon or something, and I will just put it here. And I really like that this also helps, you know, like differentiate between the words and the envelope, so it gives you that contrast inside of the envelope. And yeah, that's it. I think I'm gonna start adhering and come back. So now that I have my photo strip adhered, let's go ahead and adhere our little pocket. And I'm sorry, friends, if you see a difference in my nails. I had nail appointment in the middle of creating my layout, so I just had to change the colors, and I hope you don't mind the change in the video. So okay, I am adhering it with my double-sided adhesive for now, and we will move on to embellishing up here. Okay, just tucking things in. Don't forget to give some texture to your flower pieces before tucking them. So we want the paint brushes to be like going up. We want to layer those pieces. You can turn this color wheel to the side that works for you. I like those cool colors up there to be seen, and a little of the warmer ones and the cooler ones at the bottom. So yes, I like that. And we can start adhering. So as you can see, I don't have much foam adhesive in this layout, sorry, but we can maybe later put a little of foam up here just to have that pop. We can also bring this one here, maybe. Let's try that. I had this ticket since we had to pay to be here. We can put this one I like that it's the same color, so it's very subtle. So I'm gonna have it there. And you don't forget to ruffle your edges a bit. That gives everything a little more texture and dimension. So I'm gonna bring in my 1mm foam adhesive. It's 1mm the thickness. And I will pop this blue one a tiny bit just to have that difference in my layers. And I will tuck this one here. And I will use a thicker one, a 2mm one for the Be Bold bubble. That will go where both of those big circles here intersect. Okay, so try not to line it up with a flower, just have it a little more on the right. That way we create a little difference there. Okay, we can even put another little circle here maybe. Let's see what we find later. I like this better. So I moved my flower a tiny bit to the left. That way I don't have them so lined up. And this one will like fit perfectly between my two photos, okay? So we can add a thin piece of foam and pop it up a bit. Another favorite embellishment from this kit is these vellum shaped stickers. I love this little splatters here. You know, it gives you the mixed media look without all the mess. So sadly I ripped a bit of this blue one, but I want to tuck it up here so it won't be seen. And since it's transparent, it just looks like if you had splashed some paint. Okay, so I'm gonna add another one down here. Let's move on to our cluster at the bottom. So let me know, friends, have you ever experienced or have you been to this type of place where you choose your ceramics and you paint it? If you have a place like that in your area, in your city, it's such a beautiful experience. You know, I had as much fun as my daughters. I really enjoyed it, helping them out, paint their pieces. I would have loved to paint my own, but I had to help them out. Otherwise, they would be all painted and, you know, the small one needs a little help. So yes, I had to sacrifice my piece there. Now let's tuck this larger one. This mat here is making me think that I have more space than I actually have. But I want you to be able to see the layout. Okay, so let's tuck the floral piece, and before tucking in, just give it some texture with your fingers. And let's pop this one under. So here, friends, I just cut the half piece of that pink and orange splatter, and I will carefully try to adhere it on this little corner here. So yeah, it's very subtle, but it gives you that mixed media look that's so fun without all the mess. Okay, now let's bring in the letters and let's try to put them in a fun way on top of the envelope. So now comes the moment to put your title. And I've placed some foam adhesive on the R, and I really like how this would look if I have one with foam and the other one flat. Foam, flat, and foam. My foam here will have to be much taller than this one, so I think I'm gonna need a 3mm thickness foam here and just a 1 here, just to have it at level. And this would be plain and this would be plain. So I'm gonna try that. And then I will look for some smaller letters to put my Color Me Mine. Okay? And then we will move on to add something here just to create a little shelf and to not have those letters floating around. And here it is, friends. I really like how that looks. You know, it's just a fun way to add the title. If this is too much, too complicated, you can leave aside the little flap here. You can just use your vellum letters just as they come. So you can, of course, do this in a simpler way and it's gonna look awesome as well, okay? So now I think we have this space here that I'm not liking because it has my letters floating, and we have some florals to the rescue. Flowers are always a solution, friends. So we can bring in, you have tons of possibilities here. I'm trying to find one that I don't adore that much just because I love them so much and I want to use them in future layouts. So I love them all. It's hard to decide, but let's bring in one of these. Let's try tucking that one in, but I think those leaves won't help. So I think we will have to sacrifice one of the beautiful flowers, the ones that I loved, but that's no problem. We have tons of them. So that's one option. And the second option is this beautiful like swatch, color swatch that we can tuck under. So let me know which one you like better in the comments. Which would you have chosen? If I could put both of them, I would. Oh, friends, I would love to have you live here so you could tell me what you like best. Let's leave that for now, and I will look for a little sticker here that I can put my title, finish my title. So I decided to go with the color swatch here. I think it's a little more softer, you know, it just flows around really well with the theme. And I went through my past kits and I was looking for small letters to complete my title here as Color Me Happy. So I love that from HipKit. You can look through your past kits and I'm sure you will find something that always works because they work with very similar colors and something is gonna work. So I have this 3 options. I really like this bright orange. I also love, we have the like lime green here and this more soft salmon color. I really like the white stitches there. And we have this teal, dark teal. So any of those would work, but I think I will stick with this bright orange and I will spell Color Me Happy. Hopefully I will have all the words, all the letters. So yes, friends, I think our layout is done. I love how colorful and full of energy. You know, it exudes energy and fun. So I hope you give this a try. I used my 3 favorite products, paper, lots of embellishments from that embellishment pack, and the wonderful dies this month. So to finish my layout, I was thinking of using these 2 black chipboard hearts just to create like a visual triangle, since we have very bold chipboard piece here with the word crazy. So I thought of bringing maybe a black heart here. I like to overlap my embellishments a bit, so I will add some adhesive to these pieces and create another little visual triangle there. So I hope you like it, friends. I hope you give this a try. Don't forget to use that discount code Gloria to get an extra 10% off. Go check out the hip kits. They are wonderful. They get, each month you get something more beautiful than the prior month. So go ahead and check them out. And until the next time, this was Gloria Parra. Bye-bye.